Well, welcome back F11 members to part 2 of the fundamentals of video, fundamentals of post-production video tutorial for issue 26. I want to do a print of this picture, and to do that I want to drop it into a template that I use to create prints that look something like this. It gives them a consistent style with my signature, logo and caption at the bottom. And to do that I use a template, and I'm now going to talk you through that business of making a print template. So let's start by actually closing this down. That's a print template, and start from scratch. We'll close that one as well. I have the image, I have my logo, I have my signature. So we're going to need to create a new template. So if I go new and call this template 2, and now we're gonna need to set the size. So I set centimeters here, and I want it to be the size of the paper I'm going to print on. The exact size, I'm going to use A3 plus paper, which is 48.3 centimeters wide and 32.9 centimeters wide. Tall. Resolution 300 dpi. I'm going to keep the background transparent, and at the color profile Adobe 98. Okay, click on that, and there's my template. Just going to make a couple of guidelines. They're sort of lines that help me excuse me, position things on the page. And the first one is, I'm going to just put one right down the center. So the paper's 48.3 centimeters wide, so let's put one at 24.15. Go like that. There's one right down the width, and another one, new guide, horizontal, to indicate the top line where I want the image to sit along, 2 centimeters in, and there is my other guide. Now let's go back to the image, and what I want to do is resize this ready so it can be dropped in at the appropriate size for the image, for the print that I'm making. So image size, and the original size is 63.3 meg. I want to resample it down. I want it to be 40 centimeters wide, which will give me that nice white border around the edge of the image. And I've clicked here resample by cubic sharper, which enables me to, which is the right one for sizing the image down. Click on OK, select all, edit, cut. Just go back to the template. Before I do anything more, I'm just going to make a background duplicate layer. Okay, to work on. Always best to work on a layer rather than the actual template. Come back to this. Come back to my template. Control V, paste the image in, and it's bunged it right in the middle of the image area. I click on this up here, and I can now, that's the move tool, and I can move the image. I'm just moving it up using the nudge key on my keyboard. Okay, until it's aligned nicely with that top layer on my top guideline. Let's bring it down a touch. Okay, just come out a bit. Now what I like to do is actually have a tiny black key line around the image area just to hold the picture in. That is a subjective call. Some people like that sort of thing, others don't. I do. So I'm going to go to layer style, and where it says stroke, here is giving me the option of what this measurement here is going to determine how wide the width of the stroke or the key line, and it's set at 3 pixels at the moment. I'm going to put 2 there, and it's to go around the outside, and the color is black. So if I click on OK there, and now if I zoom in, you will see there's the black line. Now that's at 200% magnification, so at normal magnifications you can barely see it, but it is there. Okay, now come back out. Next thing I want to do really is put my logo in. So I go again to my logo, select all, edit, cut, go back to my template, edit, and paste. Now there's a profile mismatch there. Just click on OK and it will sort it out. Now clearly it's bunged my logo in right in the middle and on top of the image, and it's way too big. So first of all, let's just drag it to where it needs to be a bit. Just drag it down. We're going to fine tune this subsequently. And now I'm going to deal with its size. So if I go edit and transform and scale, now if I grab the top corner, any one of these top corners of the logo of that layer, I can actually scale it down to the size I want. By grabbing the corner, it's keeping the aspect ratio right, and I don't want the logo to be too dominant. It's going to go about that kind of size. Hit return to confirm that. Now I need to basically recenter that image. So by selecting the background layer and just go Control A, that's selected all that layer. If I come up here to this top row of commands here, hover my cursor over one, what I want to do is align horizontal centers. So if I click on that now, it's centered my logo. Just going to move it up a touch. I'll go select, deselect, and just move that up a touch using the nudge key. It's still centered. Okay, next thing to look at is my signature. So I do the same again, select all, edit, cut, back to the template, edit, paste, and in this particular case I'm just going to drag it to where I want it using the move tool, put it down here, something like that. It's come in at about the right size, so I'm happy with that. I don't need to scale it or anything. Next thing I want to do is put a caption in. So I go back to that background layer, this one over here. At the moment we have the bottom layer, the layer with the image in it, the layer with my logo in it, and the layer with my signature in it. So I want to go back to this layer here and put the caption in. So if I come down here and select that T, horizontal type tool, it will now, if I just zoom in a bit, enable me to just put the caption in that I want. Now at the moment the size of the font is way too big. These are the controls up here. This is going to be the font options. I've got Times New Roman set, and I've got a color that's black set, but it's way too big. So let's just come down to somewhere around 12. We can always fine tune this afterwards, and I'm just going to put in my caption now. Charles Bridge, Prague. Okay, when I've done that, just click on another layer, and that's made that caption layer in there, but it's not in the right place. I need to move it. So just by selecting the layer, hitting the move tool, and now I can use the nudge key to just slide it into place here, and it's about right. You can drag it or use nudge. Nudge is more precise, I think, in my book anyways. Let's just hide those layers for the moment and come up on the magnification. I'm pretty much there. If I'm then happy with that picture, I would then go layer, flatten the image, and pause to consider. So I'm ready to print this image now. That's the image dropped into a template. I think it looks pretty good. What I would do is now go File and Print, and at this stage it comes up with my print dialog settings. Now of course this will depend on what printer you're using, but there are many things that are the same to all. Now first off, I have to go through my printer setup, and the first thing to make sure is that it's selected the right printer. In this case it has. My Canon Pro 9500 II series Pixma printer, but I'm going to go into the print settings here and just make sure that everything's right. Now ignore quick setup, let's go into the main menu. Crucially, I need to ascertain that the paper selection is right, because any profile mismatch will cause problems, horrible colors and the like. So the paper has to fit this setting, and I am using photo paper plus semi-gloss. Okay, next thing I do is go down print quality high, color intensity, well you can leave that on auto. Next thing I go is page setup, and here the print size again has to match what paper is in my printer, and it's there, A3. This case I've got landscape, that's correct. Now I want normal size, and that's pretty much it. If I click on OK there, what's crucially important here though is it says color handling. Photoshop manages colors. I've found this to be where things can go horribly wrong, and it's why I tend to do my prints this way, keeping Photoshop in control, so that the colors that I have set here in Photoshop are going to be replicated on the print. Now always bear in mind, of course, that no print will ever look the same as how your picture looks on the screen. A piece of paper cannot replicate the look of a monitor. They're two very different ways of looking at an image. Nevertheless, if there are no profile mismatches and everything's set up the way it should be, what you get should be what you see on the screen. At this point now, I click on print, and out the image will come. And really it's as simple as that, or should be. So it's telling me some clipping will occur. That is because the actual size of the print is exactly what the size of the as is the size of the paper. So I'm not worried about that. If I go proceed, it'll come up with a print preview, and I'm ready to go. So that's printing, or using or creating a printer template, which may or may not be of use to you. Nevertheless, useful skills to master. Good luck.